There's the first one I'd like to show you. Hello and welcome to day 5 of week 3. We're in the downhill slope of the Windworks International Harmonic Slur Challenge, and let me tell you, I was giving a lesson this morning and then playing today, and things are happening. I was demonstrating something and took a breath, and I just realised that from doing the things that we've been doing over the last 2.5 weeks, it has taken me way back, and the sensation of opening up, it just becomes natural. You don't have to think about it. And that is why we expand and take these long breaths, take the deep breaths and practice the extremes. So when you're just in normal play mode, the breath was, and instantly I noticed it. It's just as simple as that. So the things that we're working on morph into your playing when you least expect it. Now, I saw this one the other day as well. If you're just starting with the Windworks Challenge now, you're jumping way ahead. By all means, hang around and watch. But I really love you to sign up. The link will be in the bottom. Do your Largo status, because what we're doing is quite advanced, and I'll be referring to a lot of things that are all in the Largo status stage and in the Windworks course. So I encourage you, almost implore you, to make sure you've done your Largo status. Simple as that. Then work through from day 1. There's a lot there. By the time we're finished, there's going to be over 35 hours of demonstrations and videos, which, if any of you sift through the whole lot of it, good on you, but there's a lot of cool stuff there. And one of the big things, of course, check out Sergei Nakarikov playing the final movement of Carnival of Venice. Now, I've been demonstrating my ability doing it and just working on it ever so slowly. Here's one of the best in the world doing it. What are we looking at? That passive, there's no activity. The shape change from the mouth, the low notes ringing out because there's no effort required to play low register loudly on the trumpet. The only effort is don't fall over and get air into the lungs. That's as hard as it is. And then changing shape, and his dexterity on the horn, accuracy and consistency, everything. This is as good as it gets. And if we all kind of work towards aiming to be able to do something like this, awesome. But the thing is, the psychology is, across the board, is push the air, jerk when we're playing up higher. So I want you to pay particular attention. Now, I've been playing all day. I've run through all the charts for a gig that I'm doing tomorrow night that I've been telling you about throughout the last couple of weeks. Thankfully, it's not a super heavy blow, so it's not too unmanageable. It'll be fine. And doing some recording. All of a sudden, my studio hits just in time. I've got a new Pro Tools set up, and I'm doing lots of recording. So if you need any horn section stuff, let me know. But just watch. Everything that we're talking about. So I'll go through, play this for you, and then we'll get stuck into it. It's awesome. It must have been the... I was wondering where's that other music coming from, so it must have been after the French horn YouTube clip. Another one just started playing. So, there is a demonstration of even airflow. Pitch change. Obviously, when you're getting towards the end of the line, yes, the body does get involved. But not contorting, going through that. So I'm not going to play that today. Not after that. I wouldn't make myself look stupid. But don't forget, he is one of the best of the best on the planet. So we should all aspire to be like that. But what we're teaching you here is the technique to do it, because there's too much push generally, there's too much tight, and we're letting that go. So what's the first thing we do? Eyes closed, soft, slow breath. So when you're doing that, you're filling the balloon. Do you need to squeeze the air out of the balloon? No. If you've been here from day one, you might be a little bit over me saying it, but I don't care. You might understand it, but are you doing it? And the interesting thing is, look, when I'm even talking to you, I feel the air in the lungs and there's no squeeze of the balloon. Take a breath and let it just come out. And the thing is, on a lot of the videos that I'm being sent, and it's not too late, even though, you know, we've only got a couple of weeks to go, send your videos in. Just Dropbox is the best way. Download it to Dropbox, email it across to info@mysterytomastery.com. It's just you're going to have a shorter time span, but you can still achieve a lot in 2 weeks, as you'll know if you've been doing it from the start and if you've been watching my progress. So I've just lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so when we're, you know, first thing we do, eyes closed, and I want you to recognize the feeling of the expansion in the breathing system. And then the second thing we do, the 4 steps. So we're converting the air that we use from the voice. And remember the mantra. If you don't know what the Mystery to Mastery mantra is, you haven't been watching, you need to go back and start from the beginning. I want the lips to interact with the air as if they're the vocal cords, and I demonstrate it. And you can try it, but generally what happens is it encourages a lot of tightness that I don't want. I do this as a demonstration. So, air in, same breath. Now I can keep talking, but I have to use the abdominal muscles to squeeze the rest of the air out. When I finished there, I wasn't blowing at all, and then I take a breath and go, fill up. So about there. Now I can keep talking, and I've reached equilibrium, and I'm having to squeeze the last bit of the air out, and I'll keep talking and I'll keep talking, and eventually when I've squeezed all of the air out, then I'm going to take a big breath and fill the lungs out and imagine the balloon. Let's try and do it. I won't be able to do it this time. Big breath. Isn't it interesting? I haven't done it like that before, and you can tell each time that the note's getting softer because the balloon is becoming empty, but the voice stays the same. And when I'm doing this, I'm going, okay, that last movement of the Carnival of Venice feels like that. Now, the mere fact that we're adding the valves and we're changing pitch and we're adding the tongue doesn't need to change the feeling of body's concert hall, resonating, air coming out, fill the lungs. Now to keep talking, I've got to squeeze the last bit of air out of the lungs, and then I keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and it's a sensation that I want you to have, and then all of a sudden we fill up again. Full bloom. And have a listen to how loud it is, and have a listen to how loud my voice is, and it's all for free. If I could share that last 2 minutes of video and get everyone anyone who plays a wind instrument to see that, it might change something up here. A few people do it, but most do not. So, of course, we need to play our long note for the minute. Again, if you're new here, you're watching on YouTube for the first time, you don't know what this is all about. This is day 5 of week 3 of the Harmonic Slur Challenge. People have been submitting their videos, and I'll see who has developed the most over the 5 weeks, and they'll get a 12-month subscription to the Mystery to Mastery Windworks, new Windworks course, which is awesome. Well, I think so. I love it. I think it's great. So if you're new, you can upload your videos there, or just upload to YouTube, to Dropbox. Fighting the frustration. Seriously, if I refresh this page, this is my nervous moment to make sure we're streaming through the website. Thankfully we are. There we go. Look at that. Groovy. So, fighting frustration. Just about everyone deals with this frustration. Clearly that's yesterday's date, not today. Tomorrow, again on what's going to be the 13th or the 12th in the US, 10 a.m. I'll be doing another one of these every day, and is playing a matter of life and death. You need to check it out. All right, let's move down. So I said in an earlier week, here are the notes that we're playing, and it can be quarter notes or eighth notes or sixteenths, depending on where you're up to. And this week we're up to F to B flat, and we've got the clock there, and I decided in about the second week that I'm going to, just to start the day off, play a long tone. And yesterday it went for 1 minute and 15 seconds. Things develop over time with repetition of good process. So one of the things I use, I've got the wind pack here at the course. It's got this, it's got the visualizer, it's got a spirometer, it's got plastic wind sticks. And Francis asked about the wind sticks. I'll have to, today might be a fun time to do it. I've got some just down here. So I'll explain them to you. What else has it got? A polishing cloth and a plastic tube in case you haven't got a lead pipe. All of this stuff. So let's get prepared. If you're at home, go along with me. If you don't have a breathing bag, you can get a paper bag or plastic bag and do it. Here we go. So, filling up. So after doing this again, I haven't used it since back in 2000 to 2004 when Mystery to Mastery first started. Crazy. Feel amazing from doing it every day. The exercises for this are on the website, Mystery to Mastery website. Then, of course, I'll grab the Voldine. If you haven't seen one, there's actually someone emailed me asking, do I sell them, or where can you get them? Can you get them in Australia? I'm not sure. I think Windsong Press is the place to get them. Windsongpress.com, I think. Brian Friedrichsen sells them. So it'll be international, so they cost a bit, and that's why I've got these fellas. They're in the wind pack. They're not as good, but they still do the job. But these are expensive, so I don't sell them or anything like that. But I wanted to have something that will fill the bill, So here we go. I generally average about 4,500. I used to be able to get 5,000 each time, but I'm only doing a couple of each day. I think if I keep working on it, I'll be able to get back to that, but I'm not sure. You know, I'm 20 years older now. So the first one always tops out at 4.5. So they got to 4,750. I'll do one more. So same, about 4,750. So that's okay. Now, the long tone. So I just watch the clock and see how long I can go for. So hopefully I can get a minute. Yesterday was a, exceptional day where I went for a minute and a quarter. Today might be worse. And I had a sandwich not that long ago, and after food, it makes a difference. I think back in week 1, I made the mistake of having dinner before the nighttime stream, which was a silly move. Anyway, here we go. So a few deep breaths, almost on the verge of hyperventilation, but not. It's good to do. It might seem extreme, but again, the expansion that I've felt when I just go back into normal playing. I did something today, and it was just one of these charts for tomorrow, and instantly found. So when I was playing the note, I thought I might whack that up. The octave might be effective. And I'm not a double C player and played this line to double high C sharps. Now, clearly it's not all about range, but I had an experience that I've never had before. In the upper register, because of doing this stuff over and over and recognizing shape and telling ourselves range has got nothing to do with blowing harder. And finding shape of notes, having that openness and playing, and the line sprung out, and I literally, it was a coffee moment, put my horn down and went, there you go. Now, if I tried to do it again, I'd clamp up and push, choke, do all that stupid stuff. But based on everything that we're learning here, and the same as the horn piece that I just played for you then, It didn't matter the volume. Yes, the body works more with more volume. There's more support. But the release of the air, go back and watch this video again from the start when you finish watching it, and notice the release of the air, the energizing of the air in the pipe, the resonance in the body. That's all the things that we're working on. So I've started early because I needed to go out. So unfortunately, it's 2 days in a row where I need to sort of get cracking. But anyway, that's just life. We're all busy. But the cool thing is there have been days when I'm really busy and I have to fit it in. And if you have that priority with your practice and go, I need to practice today, even if it's only for 5 minutes, you will get benefits. For those of you that are watching all of them, I think it was last Sunday, I was cooked. But as I said then, it's like putting your running shoes on. Once you've got your shoes on, you want to go out, but getting up out of bed and putting your shoes on is the tricky thing to do. So once we're in the practice room, it's easier to get stuck into it. And even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes, and if you've got 5 or 10 minutes to practice, make sure you spend at least 1 to 2 minutes coming to your chart and going, can I outdo something I did yesterday? Either long tones, so the duration time limit, or the speed limit. And it doesn't matter whether it's quarter notes, eighth notes, sixteenths. Wherever you're up to, make sure you find that golden tempo, the 1 beat speed limit, where you can do 1 beat but not 2, and you can't go any faster. If you haven't looked for your 1 beat speed limit, you're not doing it properly. You've got to know on it every single day, what's the fastest I can go for 1 beat with pure process. No blowing. And as I said, on most of the videos that I've got, there is way too much body action going on. So there is the relationship between humming and singing and playing is being lost. And people, it's based on a belief system that you can't play that freely and easily. Hello guys, how you going? Good. Now I think I've sorted this this messenger thing, so I should be able to answer questions. I can't stand the fact you can see all this business here, but I don't know that there's any other way around it. Anyway, so I'm going to get straight into it. Uh, 144 I'm after. And as you know, at this tempo, these metronomes are great when they work. It's brand new and it's flashing and doing all sorts of crazy things. You try your best, you try your best. Anyway, so at this speed, for the first 4, 1, 2, 4, 8, maybe 5 seconds, I'll just break it down. I'll do that one again. Air in. And the feeling of it is, it's no more filling the lungs and letting it go. If you feel any change back here or any kick from the body, you're not doing it right. It's as simple as that. There is an easier way. Cool, so I can feel, because I've been playing so much today, that it just feels weird now. But you just stick with the process. Wah, 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 wah. I'll go for 5 seconds. And at times you might feel that the throat wants to get involved and you might feel a click there. If you feel that, if you recognize it, do this for me. Literally, you guys that are watching now, sit there and go, close your eyes, right? Recognize it, and then finger, and recognize that they're polar opposites. And you start to recognize, there's my concert hall. It's got to be open. And when we go to play, because we're not engaging, this does not have to be affected. But generally, people play like this, and it doesn't need to be the case. All right, I'll try and... I can feel already I'm going to get close to... Oh, that tempo's changed. Oh, no. So what do I need at 1:44? This is what I like about having the duration thing here. Like 50 seconds right now feels like a freaking Mount Everest. Anyway, who knows? So what I'm doing here is lowering the carbon dioxide levels so we can play for longer. It takes longer for the carbon dioxide to build up. So I could tell at the 20 to 25 second mark that I was not even close to, I knew that I wasn't going to get anywhere near 50. So that's okay. Is it a wasted effort if we don't tick a box? No, you still, this is the most important part of it. You're still pushing your barrier, and your barrier from day to day changes. You might feel a bit sick, you might have just had a sandwich, your biorhythmic pattern might be a little bit out, you might be a bit run down. And like, the long note yesterday, 75 seconds, out of the blue. It's just there, but you can't control it. You can't get caught up on that. You just sit there and go, I wonder what's going to happen today. And this is the psychology for all of your playing, the smartest way to go. I wonder what's going to happen today. I go to this gig tomorrow, it's going to be concert hall, a couple of thousand people there. I wonder what's going to happen. Trust your practice. I've done the preparation. I know the stuff. Sit down, you have a good gig, bad gig. What's a bad gig? Whatever. It's just, and in your head you can go, I felt better, or I felt worse, it was okay. Or you don't worry about any of that. You go, I've done the thing, I've done the job, go and have a beer, drive home, So we get too caught up on it. All you can do is practice wise, be smart with your practice, and then Roger Federer said after winning the US Open, I think it was something Wimbledon last year or the year before, trust your practice. If you've done the preparation, that's all you can do. The rest is up to whatever happens at the moment. So with that being said, we'll go 152. I wonder what's going to happen. Can't control it. Don't try and control it. Just go with process. So the preparatory exercise. Whoa. Independent movement of mouth from body. Clearly that's not challenging. You can take it the next step. If you can find your lead pipe with the mouthpiece in it. I keep moving stuff because I'm recording, and here's a boba straw. That's what is in the wind packs, one of those, and I'll give it to all my students. Same diff. So there's the mouth movement, independent of the body push. Let's see what happens. So that's already feeling more in control than 144 was. How bizarre. Rightio. So I need to get 35 seconds. I think exactly the same thing happened yesterday. If you're watching, I'm pretty sure it was there, where I just ran out of air, which I shouldn't run out of air after 35 seconds. So consider that. I can play a note for a minute or a minute and 15. So I'm obviously playing louder. And I think if I go, there's the difference right away. So that's what I need to be doing, that exercise. Pulling the air pressure right back, which is much better for training the aperture corners and taking pressure off the oscillator, and being cool. So I'm going to do it again and pull the volume right back and see if I can get there. So there is the, awesome. I'm about to answer a phone call from my sister. Hello, sister. You are currently, hello? How's this for professional? Hello? Maybe it's not going to work while I'm streaming. So I'll turn that off. She's calling through Messenger from Paris. Oh no, she's in Croatia at the moment. So I've got to stop this. Sorry, folks. I'll turn that down and we'll just ignore it. Okay. So that was, what was it? I think I started on the 6th, did I? So I got to 35. I reckon I got to 40. And, oh, for goodness sake. Sorry. She'll stop ringing in a minute. The joys of going through Facebook. Oh, he's on Facebook. Oh, he must be ready to talk. Sister. Crikey. Rightio, so I'm going to mark down 40. And for those of you that were watching closely, did you see what happened just then? I'm sorry we got interrupted by the messenger message. 35 and 40. So what just happened? What just happened? What just happened? Oh, for goodness sake. Are all of your sisters as persistent as this? Crikey, sorry. Anyway, if you were really paying attention, I played the soft note and then replicated the feeling of the harmonic slur. I got an extra 10 seconds than what I've got before, and it clicked easier because there was less air pressure going on. There's the lesson right there. And I could chop the first attempt and the second attempt and what I said in the middle, and there's the lesson for anyone who wants to improve this stuff. And what was it? Less movement, less pressure. And we carry that sensation across into, and I'll, even though for those of you that were here at the start, I apologise, but that whole it's just that less pressure, more awareness of shape. the same. It's the same thing on all of them, on everything. Air in, not forcing the chops, knowing what the aperture corners are doing, not kicking harder than you need to. And I was talking about mouth compression on a lesson this morning, and it's a really hard, unless you're talking one-on-one and talking specifically about mouth compression and what's capable on the horn, it's really hard to get the message across. But I want you to consider this. Now, some of you might have seen when I had the cup of water and the bucket, just spitting water into the bucket, using the compression in the mouth. It's got nothing to do with the body. Try it at home. Just try going shape. The tongue is dropping down. It's letting air hit the... And to prove that I'm not engaging, I'm going to breathe out all the way. Push, 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 push. Check it out. It's mezzo forte plus high C. I can't engage because I'm already 100% engaged. I'm pushing in as far as I can. There's a high C. The only reason I can't do it longer because I've already engaged. There's no air left. I'm using the air in the mouth. If you were here, I literally put your hand on that bit, on your solar plexus or your abdominal wall, whatever it is, and you will not feel a thing. Notice when I talk, there's no... The reason I go on about this and demonstrate, I'm not showing off. The reason I'm demonstrating it is because I used to do the complete opposite for years. I'd get through gigs, all my gigs were like that. And if you know the feeling that I'm talking about, and I'm pleading with you to go, it doesn't have to be that way. And everything, please just work through from the start of the course. You'll see it. It makes perfect logical sense. Air in the system, aperture corners in, no pinching in the lips. And this guy I was teaching this morning is a pro orchestral player. But by the time he gets above the stave, this all kicks in. And then he goes, I'm having trouble with my freedom of tonguing. And it's like, you try and tongue. Of course, everything's tightening up. You can see all down here. And it's just from years of doing it. And we had this beautiful moment where we're working through the emerald stage. So it's quite advanced, up to E flat, I think. Oh, no, we're only doing C sharp. And I'm going, here's the feeling of it. So again, what are the main things about the website and the course? An understanding and a feeling. The sensation and the psychology. If we can understand it and we know the feeling of it and we can let go of the desire of results, because result-driven expectation screws up process. It gets in the way of everything that we're working on. As soon as we pick up the horn, we go into player mode. Don't go into player mode. And you've got to be prepared to let it fail, meaning notes don't speak. That's not a failure. So what I said to him is keep, because that jaw's coming back, just keep that, recognize the feeling of it, don't engage the body, passive scale, so no push of the body, shape change and do not move, and don't worry if the note cuts out at middle C sharp. And you know what happened? All the way up, because it's the easiest I've ever played. It's passive, so it was soft, but he, like I, have this term no weather, when it's not cold and it's not hot. And he's the only other person in the world that's used those terms, no weather. And I discovered it at Happy Valley Racecourse in Hong Kong. There was no weather. And he goes, have you heard of no weather? And I think his brother from another mother. It's when there's no effort to play. There's not little going on or too much going on. It's just, it falls out. And that's what we're after. And that's what happened in the harmonic slur I just did. Tick 2 boxes after doing it all week at 152, Have a look at that, you know. And it came from just sticking with process, stop forcing the air, let the chops do their thing without engaging the body, and you saw what happened. I cannot just demonstrate it more clearly than that, because for me it was like, how about that? So I'm teaching myself. I know it here. That's why I've written the course. But to actually put myself on this kind of, putting myself out there, doing it, and exposing where I'm at, what I'm capable of. I'm not worried about what I can do on the instrument. I'm worried about the learning process. Can you grasp something? Don't judge what I do, and this is the message I'd love to get to everyone. Don't judge what I do as a professional player. I like playing, I'm going to mess this up. Earth, Wind and Little Knowledge is a Dangerous Thing. I don't think that's the right notes. Stuff like, that's the way I like playing trumpet. I mean, I love listening to people going, but I've never trained it. My articulation's not right. The sound's, not right. I haven't sat down with people that play it to copy them. I admire it, but I've got no desire to do it. Even if I could play the, Aratunian perfectly, you wouldn't see me in front of an orchestra playing it, let me tell you. What I'm interested in is teaching these real fundamental techniques that I learnt so I can feel and see what people are doing, and I know how to help you get over it. So I'll stop raving. It's really important stuff. I wouldn't be sitting here every day for an hour if I wasn't obviously right into it and know that you can make a change. And you're watching because you want to make a change. So I just can't demonstrate it any better than what just happened then. So 30 seconds at 160. So what does Logical Greg do? All right, the next time he goes to play one, he'll go to refresh the idea, because it was that refreshed idea that helped me get over that last barrier. So recognize the feeling of it. 160. So there, again, that's quite controllable. So that's 5 seconds. So logic says if you can do it for 5 seconds, you can do it for 10 seconds, you can do it for 20 seconds, you can do it for 40 seconds if your breath lasts that long. So why, as the temperature, why as the tempo increases, why does that happen? We can play for a short amount of time, but we can't play for a longer amount of time. There is the point, right there. And that's what we're looking on. It's the balance between the airflow and the change of shape. And the body gets involved, or, the familiarity of the process, doing it for that long, the muscles get confused and whatever. It's just interesting that you can do it for a particular amount of time and then it stops. So clearly playing for 25 seconds here, I think that's the one, is it? 162. I wish we could make this a bit bigger, but it's like this because of browser sizes. Anyway, so the grey is 25, I think, is it? Here we go. It's 30. So can I do 160 for 30 seconds? Clearly, I should be able to. Logic says I should be able to. 160, 30 seconds. So I think I started just before the 6. I'm not going to tick it because I didn't pay proper attention. I might have started just before the 6. So I might have got 30 seconds, but it fell apart towards the end. So I'm pretty tough on myself. So that's something to work towards. 176. Any questions, please ask. I'll check out now. No questions, no problem. 176. So again, 1 beat. 2 beats. 4 beats. 8 beats. And again, I'm just going to keep saying it over and over and over. You might be new here. You might have been here every single day. It doesn't feel any different to this. Here's your airflow. There's the resonance in the body. You've got your aperture corners doing their thing. There's no resistance because of pinched lips. The lips are responsive. The air's going out. You don't have to squeeze the balloon. And as soon as you find that shape, and all we're trying to do is get control of that for a longer period of time. So I'm going for 176 and watching the clock. How long do I need to go for? So this is where it gets crazy. Right there. Why can I do 176 at 15 seconds but not 20? Can't even do it at 10. So that was 20. So it was completely in control, not on your life. So, but anyway, it was near enough to tick a box. I was almost going to give up and then kept going. Feels weird today, but I can guarantee, without looking back at last week's, or the week before especially, for those of you that don't know, just so you know, envelope, I won't look. Last week's progress chart, at the end of the week, we fill it out, put it in an envelope, hide it. Then, by the end of week 5, you pull out all your charts and go, wow, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You will look back at week 1 and go, you must be kidding me. Guarantee it. Simple as that. Rightio. So, 184. Again, open up. It's the same thing. This brand new metronome. Love it. Hilarious. Anyway. Oh, the battery must be going flat. It's the only explanation. That's really disappointing, isn't it? I did have another battery around here. Stand by. Stand by. What did I do with it? Don't panic. Don't panic. There it is. Any thoughts, questions, criticisms, queries as Greg changes? You can ask any questions, any thoughts, whatever. I'll answer. I don't think the battery's the problem, but let's hope that it is. So, and you're probably wondering, Greg, you've got a metronome right here. Reason being, by the time I hear it, it's late compared to the stream. You hear it and then I hear it through my system. So it doesn't work. So I have to use this fella. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm about to do some very bad advertising for these guys if it doesn't work. I'll show you what kind of metronome it is. Oh. That's with a brand new battery in. I just took the plastic off it. All right. Okay, so don't buy one. All right, it's an Intelli IMT, but I have my old one here, so let's use this one. You just never know what's going to happen when you go live. I did Channel 7's one of the major networks in Australia, and I did a TV show celebrating 50 years of television. And at the start of the show, it was the first time we're on a riser coming up in the middle of the stage, lights, lasers, smoke machines, and we get halfway through and there's someone playing acoustic guitar in one of the girl groups from one of the TV shows singing, and we're about to start playing this big, thing. It's got a Pro Tools sequence and it's brass and it's the whole shebang-a-bang. Soon as the stage started moving, live to air, 50 years of television, and we blew a fuse. The stage stopped, the sconces all went out, the lights, everything shut down, and the band's still playing. Thankfully, the amps were on, and so the PA was working, but the lights and the stage blew a particular fuse, and we couldn't see our music, so the whole brass section sitting there in pitch black. It was ridiculous where we were. And thankfully, the MD, named Chong Lim, great man, goes, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down. The sconces are out. And the directors are going, what are the sconces? What's he talking about? And thankfully, the bass player and drummer and guitarist knew the start of the song, so they got going, and by the time the sequence had to cut in, everything came back on, and I reckon it came on within 5 seconds of us having to play. So, unfortunate, it's probably just as well that happened, but I'm sitting there laughing, going, how cool is this? How ironic, 50 years of television and it's all... I've got to finish. I don't have a metronome. I'll use this one here. I can't, it's not in my blood to... So you'll hear the difference here. It's going to be out of time. Frustrating. Anyway, here we go. I need to... Oh. Where did that come? Oh, is it 10 seconds? I think I've already done 10 seconds. Yep, so I need to get 15. I can't hear that very well. If I turn it up for you guys, it's probably going to get too loud. Oh, yeah, it's probably really loud, is it? Love it. See if I get 15 seconds. Interesting. Straight away after that 10 seconds, it just pulls back. It's just a bit quick for me. I'm going to finish up. I'm just going to do 208 and see if I can get it at 5 seconds, because I haven't got that this week. I have earlier, but not not on F to B flat. So ridiculously quick, but it's our limit. Now, if you haven't got to 208, then you've got the what speed can you do for one beat, but you can't do two. So it's your 1 beat speed limit. 1 beat, you can't do two, or you can't do the next speed. You've got to come back to that every day. It doesn't matter if you don't tick the box. It's the process of coming back and trying again each day. That's the important part. Here we go, 208. So not even close today. So that's good. That's good. Thank you all for watching. Sorry about the blooming tech issues. You never know what's going to happen until it happens. Any questions you can email through the site. If you haven't put a video in, it's still only week 3. You've still got a couple of weeks to go. This is where I'm at, and this is where I'm at by the end of week 5. So on that note, I need to have a thought for the day. Well, put it this way. Today's a prime example. You never know what's going to happen, and you can't be affected by it. You gotta laugh. Let me tell you a very quick story. One of the biggest teaching things I've ever done was giving a 1-hour masterclass at the University of North Texas. And for those of you that don't know it, it's a massive music school. Huge. It's almost the mecca for commercial music and other music, of course, but they got the big bands, the 1 o'clock and the 10 o'clock big bands and stuff. So to get up and speak for an hour there is an absolute thrill. And it's a cooking house. It's hot. It's on. I've prepared for this for ages, and I've done Baylor University, I did Sam Houston University, a bunch of other places in America, but UNT was the one. I get up there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here. You know, this Aussie guy getting up speaking to you about brass playing. How ridiculous is that? And as I was setting up my PC into the system and everything, this guy comes up and says, "Hey Greg, have you got your presentation on USB? You'll like this." In fact, I think I might have seen a friend of mine who's there. If she's still there, she'll love this. Hey, feet. So there's my USB. And the guy goes, "So if you've got a USB, plug your USB into their computer system and it'll work." So I've gone, "Okay, no problem." And I did that. And there's a drone at the start of my presentation to get people to sit there, come in and hum. Don't worry, folks. We're not going to get all spiritual and zen or anything like that, which we kind of do, but, you know, just make them relax. Hum, get into the vibe, and get the feeling of passive reduction and humming. So the drone worked. So I thought, okay, this is all good. PowerPoint presentation on a big screen. And I go, "Ladies and gentlemen, so happy to be here. Let's hum, 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 hum." Then I press the button and a video's supposed to start playing. And I press the video and there's dead silence. And I kind of went cold, but thankfully I laughed. Hot lights, you can't see the audience. This is one of those cooking moments, right? No sound. And I look around, and the video was frozen. And up on the screen popped, "No video codec installed on this computer." And the tech guy said, "If you have any problems, let me know." And so I've gone, my tech friend said if there's any problems, he'll help me out. Well, I got a problem, and I didn't see him. He went running out of the room, I think. So I had to go on and say, "Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this video was actually working, what it is about is blah, 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 blah." And so I had to do that all the way through. Each time a slide came up on one of the things. Okay, if this video, and we made fun of it, and it was cool, and I got through it. It was terrific. I had to cut it short because I had to speak a lot more. and we wasted time. So the whole time, one side's going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? And the other side's going, ha ha ha, ha, everything's fine. And by the end, I finished at the right spot. People loved it. Kids loved it. Everyone loved it except for the professor who was in charge there. Hated it. Absolutely hated everything I said. And then about 3 months later, Phil Smith from the New York Philharmonic got up at North Texas State and said, have you heard of Greg Spence and the Mystery to Mastery website? You've got to do this, 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 and this. It's amazing the way the world works. And you just have to roll with it. You know, I'd laughed. Literally said, who would have thought this had happened right now? Who would have thought I'd go live? I've got 2 metronomes and neither of them work. Doesn't matter. We're not saving lives. We're just playing a bit of trumpet. So on that philosophical note, I'm going to a birthday party, and then I'm off to Brisbane tomorrow to do a gig at the concert hall at the Queensland Performing Arts Centre, the big band. And but I am going to be on tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So for any of you Americans, 10 o'clock's between, I think, 5 and 8, and it's about 2 o'clock in the morning for any Europeans. So get up and join us. Love the smell of harmonic slurs in the morning. So on that note, I'm going. Thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Au revoir.